James's meal isn't that exciting. It's cod, hash brown things, and plantain with horseradish sauce, Korean barbecue sauce, and pasta sauce. And I'm going to review Justified City Primeval Season 1 and Star Trek, whatever, Season 2.
The latest Star Trek?
Yeah.
How many have they put out? It's like
I don't know, but they're not doing a great job with this most
Strange New World
thing. So
yeah.
Honestly, I'm wondering if they're trying to sink the whole franchise with it. It's this season, I should say, this is season 2 of the Strange New Worlds, and it is better than season 1 was.
Oh, okay.
So
now, is it a musical? Are they dancing there and singing?
Well, I haven't gotten through the whole thing yet.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
well, this guy's got a better
they're
head of
trying
hair
some
than
different things.
Picard did.
Yeah, and one thing, like, usually lately shows they'll jump into a whole bunch of action and then they'll explain it a little bit later.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But this one, they didn't have any action at the beginning. They jumped into, why does Spock want to steal the Enterprise and whatever, and you're going, what in the world? This is like not a first episode. And then there's a bunch of action, and then, but whatever.
Yeah.
One thing that I like, there's a woman in this with curly hair that she's inspecting the Enterprise on the first episode, and I kept wondering, is she that woman from Scrooged? With Bill Murray, and I don't know. Well, I don't know. She had curly hair in that too, and she was a lot younger then, of course. So it's hard to know.
She still looks pretty young, but
yeah. But
it's
maybe
all
I'm
relative.
wrong.
I'm 70, so.
But she had a funny voice too, so.
Like
maybe I'm just
a Mel Blanc kind of voice, or what? Mel Blanc's the guy who did all the cartoon characters. Yeah, what's up, Doc?
No, not that. Anyway, Justified City Primeval. This guy, he kind of reminds me of, what was that husband of Angelina Jolie? What was his name?
Oh, Billy Bob Thornton or something like that.
Yeah.
Some sort of something Bob
I think
Thornton.
they were going for that sort of feel for this. And
I'm telling you, he looks so old. But now I see pictures of him. I've grown old so much since then. I go, man, he looks young.
Yeah, well, it's funny because he hasn't really seemed to age.
Is that true?
Maybe that's it.
Okay.
But yeah, he always had a kind of rugged look to him, and
a little too rugged, I think. But what the heck? I think it's kind of weird. But so's Angelina Jolie.
Anyway.
So for that matter, is Brad Pitt.
So. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I don't think either of these are really worth watching, but this one was more entertaining than Strange New Worlds. I'm not through all of Strange New Worlds yet, and I'm wondering, should I even bother?
Right.
But
Strange New World. Oh, Strange New World. Yeah, that's
I might just write some different comments on the notes from my review if I all of a sudden I'm like, oh wow, it turned out to be really great after whatever. We'll see.
Oh, it's Brave New World. I was mixing it up. That's from The Tempest, and that's where Aldous Huxley got the title for one of his
I'm glad you were in the mood for
utopian
fish.
kind of novels. Well, no.
I had to make it because I was worried about Angel. Because I do feed her separately than the other dogs because I want to make sure she actually gets
enough food. Yeah, they just mooch right off.
Yeah. But today I made her fish, and I wanted her to be strong enough because I wanted her to get a bath.
Yeah, I know.
And so I gave her a bath, and then she went right back to laying in her pee bed. I should have moved the pee bed.
She seems to pee in her bed a lot. So.
Well, she's an old lady now.
She's
and
bad, you know what.
Things, yeah, she's always had a bit of trouble, but now that she's old,
Well, she'd always make sure that she wasn't lying down in it. But
Yeah,
now
but now it's anyway. So I
she's
gave her
blind.
because I wanted to be able to cuddle her in bed after the bath so she'd stay warm enough, or else she was drying,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
so I guess the floor is yours. You can talk about whatever you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of sports lately. Been rearranging my books. So I need something mindless going on. Something that won't stress me out too much, I'm telling you. There's a guy who scored 105 points before he joined the Calgary Flames. Now he's going at the rate of maybe getting 30 points or something per season. And he signed with them for $10.5 million. That's not a one-time thing. That's every year.
Wow.
And I don't know what's wrong with him. For a while I was thinking he was playing to get traded. I don't like the climate here, so trade me to someplace else. But no one would take him. Like, we've got to take this guy on. He's useless. And we have to pay him $10.5 million? I doubt it. Anyway, I think he's kind of been traumatized by having a lousy coach from Viking out there.
A little bit too much barbecue sauce with that
A
one?
little too much.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
I got to do something to kind of kill the fish taste.
I'm glad that works out.
I'm not a big fan of fish. I'm kind of... Well, I eat it every so often. Hopefully it helps out with I was going to say berries afflictions, but they all center around the cancer that I've got. I'm pretty healthy otherwise, I think. It's kind of weird to think that way.
What a beautiful day.
Well, yeah, it's wonderful. Haven't had to even heat my place. Well, not today. I don't like running the heater too much when it gets a little warmer inside. It's not good for the heater. One time I was running the heater inside. This was a while back when the furnace went up. And the furnace came back on when I was asleep. Holy smokes. It practically melted the plug-in for my radio. It was all misshapen. It got so warm inside. That was sobering. Could have caused a fire.
Anyway, so you don't have news.
Well, I mean, it's sports news. So there's this O'Shea Ohtani. I don't think I got a chance to really talk about what they did.
Okay.
So he signed with, I don't know why, he signed with the California Angels, or Los Angeles Angels, I think they call them now. So there's at least 2 teams, baseball teams, in Los Angeles. I doubt if there's one person who really cheers for the Angels. I mean, originally they were located out in Anaheim, not even in Los Angeles. So it's part of the urban sprawl around Los Angeles. And I don't know why he signed there. I guess they came up with big bucks. So he's the guy they're saying, the greatest of all time. He's a unicorn, isn't he? There was a guy called Babe Ruth who was a great pitcher. And the greatest home run hitter of his time. He also hit for average. And most home run hitters don't do that. And before he started to let the wild living get to him, wild eating and wild drinking, he apparently was very fast. He stole bases and stuff like that. So when they're going around saying, wow, I gather Babe Ruth at least 1 year was the best pitcher in the majors. This is when he was with Boston. Roshi Atani's been playing in the big leagues, at least the American big leagues, for 6 years now. He's never even gone to a World Series. Maybe he's made the playoffs. Babe Ruth, before he joined the New York Yankees, had won 2, maybe 3, let's say 2 World Series. Stuff that you folks out there who think the latest player in any sport is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Get a perspective. When I was a kid, when I was a wee little kid, I was hoping at least that Bobby Hull was going to be the greatest. And he wasn't. He wasn't even greater than his predecessor, Gordie Howe. On the ice, he was a much nicer person. Off ice, who knows? Apparently he was pretty bad when he got a belly full of beer. You know, and my favorite team, football team back then, in the American scheme of things, was the Green Bay Packers. And
It's amazing you like that sauce so much, even though you don't like heat.
oh well, yeah, it's helping me get through the fish. Anyway, the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers back in the 60s was a guy called Bart Starr. And for some reason or another, they didn't have this sense of newitis about Bart Starr. Bart Starr won five, the equivalent of Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowls and 3 NFL championships, which is 1 less than Tom Brady. He didn't last as long as Tom Brady. And people, they get newitis. Oh, Tom Brady kept doing it for so long. You ever heard of modern medicine? Stupid idiots. I mean, I look like a survivor because I've been surviving bone marrow cancer, and a particular virulent form of it, for 12 and a half years now. I'd look like a dead duck if I'd contracted it in the early 1990s. They didn't have bone marrow transplants for bone marrow cancer. I would have dropped like a fly. So there's all sorts of medicine. Now, Brady was a smart guy. He kept himself, I'm pretty sure, in shape. It's like Jerry Rice. With the San Francisco scheme of things, when he was catching balls, he wasn't supposed to be like your typical wide receiver. I'm catching this and I'm running out of bounds. He was meant to catch a ball and run with it. And finally he got a knee injury, but that was well into his career. And the reason is he stayed in shape. And I think Bart Starr probably stayed in shape. But I'm telling you, Tom Brady comparing. People are going around saying, Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. Of course. Huh? Are you stupid? He won 2 passing championships. He's not even the greatest of his own time. Wake up and smell the coffee. Peyton Manning won 2 passing championships. Eh? 2. Or 3, I should say. 1 more than Brady. Oh, Brady won 6 Stanley Cup. No, Stanley Cup. Grey Cups, no. Super Bowls. Yeah, like he was out there playing his opponents. Come on, you panty waist. I'll take you all on. He's part of a team. And he was with a coach. Apparently, he's not very good at coaching offense. Belichick. But probably pretty good at coaching defense. Yep. Now, Bart Starr was with a coach who was good. I think he specialized actually in offense, weirdly enough, Vince Lombardi. In the running game. But Lombardi was pretty good at coaching defense too. And I'm sure a lot of people going around, I used to think this when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, I bought the thing, oh, Johnny Unitas is the greatest ever. Well, Johnny Unitas was a bit older than Bart Starr. I think he won 2 passing championships. Same as Brady. I don't know how many NFL championships he won. At least 1, maybe 2. And Johnny Unitas was good. But he was no Bart Starr. Bart Starr won the passing championship 5 times. Compare and contrast. Brady, 2. Bart Starr, 5. If you look at, Brady wins the championships. He made it to a lot. I don't know if he came out of a weak division like LeBron James, putatively, theoretically, the greatest of all time. LeBron James has led the league in various categories. Well, last time I checked, once. That's in all the categories. Now, maybe he's done something since I checked. It was around 2000 or 2019. Wilt Chamberlain, 35 times, something like that, 30 times. I don't want to overestimate too much. LeBron James will get plastered by Wilt Chamberlain. Just absolutely plastered. LeBron James, you could say, is a better assist getter, but, he's never led the league, I don't think. Maybe once. In getting assists. Wilt Chamberlain, big 7'1" center, led the league once in assists. Well, he decided he was going to do it and did it. So, for you poor folks out there with new ideas, grab a brain, do a little bit of research, do a little bit of reading before you go. For sure, Brady's the GOAT. For sure, LeBron James is the GOAT. If we're looking at championships, LeBron James, what's he won, 5? Something like that. On designer teams, hey, I really can't win on my own with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think I'm going to sign up with 2 of my buddies, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. So he won 2 championships there, I think his first 2. He was only 1. I think it was 2. You look at Michael Jordan, who was a more talented version of a ball hog called Kobe Bryant. He wasn't going to win anything until he ran into a coach who could discipline him. Nope. Phil Jackson actually talks about, I've read Phil Jackson's books a couple of times. I think he said something like Kobe Bryant. I don't know how the way he got to Kobe Bryant was he just resigned. I think he said something like Kobe Bryant is uncoachable. And that kind of turned Kobe Bryant around, and he won 2 more championships with Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson didn't win with him. Kobe won with Phil Jackson. And basically the same thing with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan wasn't going to win. I think Phil Jackson whipped him into some sort of shape. But LeBron, he has to get people to play defense for him, a rebound for him. People like Anthony Davis. So he makes these designer teams. How about if I go to LA, get a big friend of mine, Anthony Davis, to do the work in the trenches for me. I'll just kind of wave at people as they go by on their way to a layup, the opposition. I say, hey there, say hi to the net for me, okay? And then he does reasonably well with offense because he's not tired out. The people are trying to cover him. They've been working on offense and now they got to work on defense. LeBron's just working one side of the ball, yeah? Even Will Chamberlain, I don't know how good he was on defense, but you look at his tussles with Bill Russell. Bill Russell thought he was better than Will Chamberlain. Bill, if you're still alive, you're delusional. They'd get like 20 rebounds apiece when they're facing off against each other. The difference between Bill Russell thinks he's the team. He was a phenomenal team. Oh, he won the most championships of all. He won 11, as I recall. Ever heard of Sam Jones? Never heard of him, right? Anyway, he was on the Boston Celtics teams, and he won 10. So you're telling me, if you're judging just by championships, that Bill Russell was approximately 10% better than Sam Jones? If we go by Super Bowl-itis, which is, how many championships have you won? In hockey, the guy who's won 11 Stanley Cups is a guy called Richard. Rocket Richard. Pocket Rocket Richard. You never even heard of him. Probably. Henri Richard, the younger, much smaller brother of Rocket Richard. He won one more championship than Jean Beliveau, as I recall. He won 10. And Henri Richard, one season, led the league in scoring. It's amazing. I can remember seeing him in the 70s, and he looked old and decrepit. But old people, we're young people once. I look old and decrepit. At one point in time, I was a bit of an athlete. But there were better players than Jean Beliveau. Just because he won 10 doesn't mean he was the best player ever, except for Henri Richard. Jacques Lemaire was a better two-way player. I understand Beliveau was a good two-way player. But I picked Jacques Lemaire every time over Jean Beliveau. I think Jacques Lemaire only won 8 Stanley Cups, which is an immense number. Which is 6 more than Bobby Clark. Have I got Super Bowl-itis? I prefer the Montreal Canadiens to the Philadelphia Flyers. Well, frankly, to any other team. Yeah, I'm not stupid enough to go around saying, Jacques Lemaire won 8 Stanley Cups and Bobby Clark only won 2. Therefore, Jacques Lemaire is a greater player. Say what? Jacques Lemaire won 8 Stanley Cups and Wayne Gretzky only won 4. Therefore, he's twice as good. Yeah, that's Super Bowl-itis. A lot depends on the team that you're on. A lot depends on the coach that you've got. A lot depends on how long you last. And I don't care how long you last. Piling up the statistics like LeBron James. Finally got the record. Look, the guy's a steroid monster. Will you guys wake up and smell the coffee? You look at Roger Clemens. and his career was shot. And then all of a sudden, he discovered the fountain of youth. In his 40s, revived his career. That's when he discovered steroids. Eh? Your recovery time for your muscles apparently increases with steroids. Well, there you go. So LeBum James is 39. He's going around performing at at least offensively, at a fairly impressive level. I don't think his defense has been much good. When he busted into the league, apparently he was a pretty good defensive player. But, you know, he gave that up for, I'm going to be the GOAT. He actually said, I'm the leader. You know, this was early on. I think when he was still with Cleveland. He wouldn't lead me anywhere. What an idiot. You look at him, oh, he's fast for a 6'8" guy. 6'8" is 6'8". He shouldn't be doing the point guard sort of stuff. What does he do? He makes the offense too slow. He gives it constipation. So here he comes down the court, roaring down the court. It's like a Mack truck roaring down the court. I don't want a Mack truck being the point guard. I want a Porsche. I want it done fast. Get the point? Probably don't. That's okay. So everything's got to work through LeBum, as I call him. Because he's a greedy idiot. I don't think he's as greedy as Michael Jordan. Definitely not as greedy as Kobe. Kobe was stupid. He was so stupid. Wins 3 championships with Shaq. And then basically runs Shaq off the team. Now, Shaq won 1 MVP. I'm like John Wooden. Won any number of national championships with UCLA college. He survived long enough to see Shaq. And I'm sure he was, when he saw Shaq out there pretending to play basketball, I'm sure he was kind of in the back of his mind, he was thinking, man, oh man, I wish I hadn't survived so long to see this travesty of a basketball player out there flumping around the court. So he's a classic steroid monster. It's one of the worst things that's happened in sports. Steroids has made it so that big fat guys can scream around pretending they're athletes. How much time?
30 seconds about.
So Shaq's just an idiot. I can shoot, maybe even now. But before my bone marrow cancer, every shot in basketball better than him, except for the dunk. If I was 7'1", I'd do it better than him. No. Enough said.